People love to rank things, right? Seems like there is a top 5 list for anything you could imagine. Top 5 restaurants, top 5 candy, top 5 this, top 5 that. We're going to talk about maybe the top 5 90s sports icons, because that's the era I grew up in. One of the most memorable sports moments in my life, and probably in Olympic history, is when Carrie Strug did the vault. She had sprained her ankle in a different event, and she vaulted on a sprained ankle, jumped off that thing, did all those flips and stuff, and landed and just absolutely nailed the dismount. Do they even call it a dismount? I'm not really sure. Sorry for the gymnasts out there. All I know is I was freaking out whenever I saw that. That was one of the coolest things I've ever seen. You can't mention 90s sports icons without mentioning primetime Deion Sanders, am I right? One of the coolest things ever is when he played a Falcons game, I think it was in the afternoon, jumped on a private jet, 2 different sports in the same day. Coolest thing ever. All right, so number 3 for me, I'm kind of cheating a little bit. 2 players, Mark McGwire, Sammy Sosa. I think it was 1998, whenever they were battling it out for the home run record all season. It was like must-see TV. Every single game you were just watching to see who was going to hit the next home run and who was going to come out on top that year. 1990s, mullets, tennis, bad boy of tennis, Andre Agassi, number 2. I mean, the guy was the coolest guy ever. As you can see, I have no hair, or a little bit of hair. If I could have a mullet like Andre Agassi did back in the 90s, done deal. I'd sell 1 million houses a year. Probably not, but you know, it would be a cool mullet though. Although those kind of crazy Oakleys are coming back. Andre Agassi was like a cultural icon. It was so fun to watch him play tennis, and he was really good at tennis too. Last but not least, I think you all know what I'm gonna say. Michael Jordan, best basketball player ever, the GOAT. Don't even try me with LeBron James or some of this other stuff. The guy was an absolute freak show. I think I watched every single Chicago Bulls game in the 1990s because of Michael Jordan, where they win like 5 or 6 championships. Unbelievable. Can't beat him. Michael Jordan's the best. Okay, so that's enough about sports. Hey everybody, my name is Tim Gibson, and my channel is all about North Georgia real estate. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and if you're thinking about moving to the area, or if you're thinking about listing your home in the area, please reach out. My contact info is on the screen. This is gonna be a little bit different. We're doing a real estate related top 5 list. We're gonna be talking about my favorite town squares in North Georgia. Top 5 list. Some of y'all are gonna get mad, but I gotta do it. Coming in at number 5, Blairsville, Georgia. Blairsville, Georgia is an awesome small town. It's just about 2 hours north of Atlanta, Georgia, located right there in the mountains and very close to the North Carolina border. I remember at one point my daughter had a soccer game up there, so we decided, you know what, soccer game's over. Why don't we go eat lunch in North Carolina? So it was about a 30-minute drive and we were in North Carolina. Beautiful scenery in Blairsville. And what makes the town square great? Obviously you want to have some local shops. It needs to be walkable, and Blairsville is walkable. It's actually centered around the old historic Union County Courthouse. You'll see a lot of that in these North Georgia towns. The courthouse is right in the middle of the square. You got the shops and the other stuff that are kind of surrounding it. You'll notice a lot of the same features in these towns, and some of them are going to be based on just what I feel. But Blairsville is great because you got lots of great little local restaurants there. You got some good coffee shops. There's also a bunch of antique shops as well in Blairsville. One of my favorite things about Blairsville is as you drive into the town square, I believe it's from the south, as you come up over the top of the hill, you see this huge vista, and the courthouse is right there in the middle, and there's these beautiful Appalachian Mountains in the background. The scenery is amazing. So that's my number 5. Let's go to number 4. This one might be a little controversial, and most people don't even know that there's sort of a town square. This is more of like a strip rather than a square. We're gonna be talking about Ball Ground, Georgia. Up until about 10 years ago or so, downtown Ball Ground was not really anything. It was just a bunch of closed up shops and not a whole lot going on. But now it's been completely revitalized. Got a bunch of historic buildings there, some cool coffee shops. Again, you've got your classic shops like boutiques and things like that. One of my favorite parts about Ball Ground actually is the Ball Ground Burger Bus. It's exactly like it sounds. It's an old bus that's turned into a burger restaurant right there on the main strip in Ball Ground. The burgers actually are great, and it's just kind of a cool experience. So check it out if you're in the area. You're also close to Gibbs Gardens, which is a very popular place to visit. There's always things going on in Ball Ground, lots of community events and farmers markets and things like that. Just a really cool place to kind of walk around and hang out, especially if you live close by. Next, We're getting to the top 3 now, LJ. LJ is a really cool square. Again, like the other towns, there's some historic buildings there. You got a lot of local shops. There's some art galleries in the square in LJ. Lots of great restaurants, of course. And I'm sure most of you already know this, but LJ is like the apple capital of Georgia. They have the Georgia Apple Festival in LJ, which is a really cool event to visit in the fall. You can find varieties of apples that you've never even heard of, and they all taste fantastic, all locally grown from LJ. You got breweries and all that stuff. It's a really cool place to get out, walk around in an afternoon, maybe on the weekends. All right, at number 2, we're getting close to the top here. We're gonna be talking about Blue Ridge, Georgia. Blue Ridge has sort of like a main drag that's a lot bigger than what you would find in something like Ball Ground, Georgia. And Blue Ridge is sort of an upscale mountain town in North Georgia. So you have some really great shopping there, lots of boutiques, a lot of outdoor outfitters, a couple of record shops that are really cool. My kids like to go visit. They actually have a couple of wine tasting rooms, which are really good. There's a lot of great local wine in North Georgia. And fun fact, this isn't on the square, but if you live in the area or live close by and you need to get a Georgia driver's license or do anything with the DMV, go to Blue Ridge. There's never a line. You go hang out in a cool town, spend the day there, and you don't have to fight all the stuff going on, some of these other DMV locations in Georgia. Just a fun fact. Also, you have the Blue Ridge Scenic Railway. Hop on the train in Blue Ridge, go take the train all the way up to Tennessee. Then you hang out in, I believe it's McKaysville, Tennessee for a little while. And then you hop on a train, come right back, and you get all these beautiful views of the North Georgia mountains. Fun thing to do that's a little bit more unique than some of the other towns. Okay, so we've gone from 5 to 2, and you're probably thinking, I know what this guy's gonna pick. You probably think I'm gonna pick the town square with the most Dollar Generals. All right, last but not least, we're going to number 1 on the list, the best mountain town in North Georgia, and it's not because I live there. We're talking about Dahlonega, Georgia. Dahlonega is the site of the first U.S. gold rush. You have the University of North Georgia that's right there. Similar to some of the other town squares I mentioned, you got chocolate shops, you got antique stores, you got local restaurants, you got boutiques, wine tasting rooms. When the weather's good, just about any weekend, you can find people playing bluegrass music on the square. There's always events going on just about every weekend. You got tons of festivals. You got Gold Rush that happens in October. And kind of like, if you're familiar with Norman Rockwell, kind of like a little Norman Rockwell type town. Just a great place to go hang out. So we're gonna do a couple of honorable mentions. An up and coming downtown, and this is in one of the bigger towns, probably one of the biggest towns in North Georgia, Gainesville, Georgia. They've done a ton of work to Gainesville, Georgia. It's a fantastic place to go visit. And it's creeping up the list. If we do another one of these in a couple years, Gainesville might be in the top 5. And on the contrary, probably my least favorite downtown, and anyone from the area would probably agree, because it's basically just a bunch of big government buildings and a jail, is Cumming, Georgia. It's just not quaint, it's not charming. It's just kind of bland and boring. Sorry for those of you who live in Cumming. I used to live there, but I think you'd probably agree. The highlight definitely in Cumming, Georgia though, is Village Burger. Best place to get a burger in Cumming. Second least favorite, and look, I've got a lot of ties to Dawsonville, but Dawsonville, Georgia, I mean, what do y'all do? Off the square, you have the Georgia Racing Hall of Fame, which is pretty cool. They do have the Moonshine Festival there every year, but the town square itself, it just leaves something to be desired. There's just not a lot going on. But you do have the Dawsonville Pool Room, which is an awesome hole-in-the-wall restaurant to get a hamburger there. They put coleslaw on their hamburgers. Some of you might be like, what in the heck are we talking about? Go try it. I think it's called the Bully Burger. Go try a Bully Burger down at the Dawsonville Pool Room. That's my favorite part about Dawsonville Square. All right, you tell me what you thought about this video. You can just argue with me in the comments all you want. You guys maybe argue with each other, and you tell me what your favorite town square is in North Georgia if you visited the area. As always, my contact info is on the screen if you are thinking about moving to the area or if you're considering listing your home in North Georgia. We'll see you on the next video.